Hello, this is Ben from Gencovery, and I'm here today to tell you more about our fair open access offer. So if you don't know anything about Constellab and Gencovery, please check out our video about the Constellab platform and the demonstration of the functionality of it. So the fair open access offer allows you to have access to Constellab for free and also have access to a data lab to run your analysis. Let's see how we can use this offer. So just go into constellab.space and log into your account. If you don't have any, just create a new one. So I will just log into my demo account right there. Give me a few seconds. Okay. So when you've logged to your space, you arrive in an empty space, so you can work in it. It's your environment. You can invite a few people in your own space if you want, so you can manage your space from here and invite other members and manage who can have access to your data. And you don't have any folder and any data lab, so we will see how we can do. So just create an empty folder to start. So let's call it iris analysis and leave all the other inputs empty, and by default, these inputs define where your data will be stored for this folder. So just leave it by default. And in your space, you are limited to 1 gigabyte of data uploaded in the folders. So once you're here, you can upload data, create documents, do whatever you want. For example, you can upload iris example file, XLS file, and navigate to it. This is a really simple file. You can also create nodes, concern node that are editable directly in the platform. For example, and that's pretty much it. You need to know at the beginning for the folder. So now your folder is ready. We will be able to assign data to it, and we want to run an analysis. So we will need to create a data lab. So you can use this button to create a fair open access data lab. So this lab has some limitations. So for now, it's limited to 25 hours per month of usage. And these are the specifications of the data lab that might change in the future, but for now it's that: 2 CPU, 8 GB of RAM, and 250 GB of storage. You have here some information about some documentation. We'll see that later. And so you can create a data lab. So this will take a few minutes, and this is creating a non-cloud data lab on Azure. And this server on the cloud, it will be yours to manage, so you will have to start and stop it from the platform. We'll see how we can do it. I will retrieve you later in a few minutes when the data lab is ready, and you should receive an email when it's ready and started. It should take from 5 to 10 minutes to be up. So I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, my lab is now running and ready to be used. I can see the running statue here, and the Go to Lab button is enabled. Before going into the lab, we see the few different tabs here and how we can use them. So first, you have the lab user, which is the list of users that has access to the lab. Then you have the folder that are synced with the lab. So during the start, I synchronize my iris folder into my lab. So this can be useful to organize your data in your lab. This is not required. And at the end, you have the current usage of your fair open access lab and how much hour do you have left. In the configuration tab, you will see all the bricks that are installed in the lab. We'll see later how we can add bricks to get new functionality for analysis. And you have green computing option. By default, there is none. We recommend creating one to automatically stop your lab based on condition. So the one I like is to stop my lab after 60 minutes of inactivity. Just be aware that if you're working in the Codelab in a dev environment, it might shut down the lab because it's not considered as activity. So I choose persistent, so it stays after the shutdown. I recommend using it to avoid forgetting stopping your lab, and it will use all your credit at once. Then you have the lab usage, which is how much your lab ran. There is some price here, but as you are in fair open access, no problem, you will not pay. And the fair open access lab is not backed up, so there is no backup here history. Okay, so let's go to the lab. So to go to the lab, click on Go to Lab button. So this will redirect you into the lab platform. So we are currently connected in the remote server, so in our lab. So this is your lab. You can do whatever you want. You can run any analysis. So you should see two scenarios already created in the lab that are example of what you can do. For this one, for example, download a resource from an external repository and execute a blast to see the results. And you have also a simple PCA demo from the iris data and what you can see. So for example, you have this data at the end, and you should be able to have a scatter plot. So we can reproduce those pipeline. So how to work in the lab? First, you can import data. So to do this, you can go to the resource panel, and using this button, you can upload a file. So I will just do it to upload, for example, an iris CSV file. So once you've selected your file, it should show this pop-up. Just leave the file tip by default and upload. After a few moments, your file should be uploaded and you can see it. So for now, this object is a file. We can see this in the resource info tip file. You can also see this here. And we want to manipulate not a file, but a table, like similar to a data frame in Python. So to do this, I can use the import resource button. And here I will import my file into a table because it detects it's a CSV file. You have a lot of options. Basically, if you have headers, if you need to have index and other, I leave this one by default, and I click import, and this creates me a new resource table this time that I can use on my pipeline. I can still use my file in my pipeline if I want. And then after that, I can create a scenario simply here, and for example, search for my resource. So the one I've just created, the table here, I can plug it, and I can see what I can do with it. So suggested process, what I can run with it. For example, a really simple one is the table transposer. So I can transpose my resource, which is a table, and I can run to see the results. In the Fair Open Access Lab, you can also create agent. So to run code with agent, create dashboard, use the smart tasks. So you pretty much everything, you can do anything that you can do in the lab, you can do in the Fair Open Access Lab. So for example, here I can create a simple Python agent, and why not also a Streamlit agent for a dashboard. So I can connect them with my table, and those agents have a default code that work with table, and this one is transposing the table, for example, and this one is generating a dashboard for the table. You could develop your own code here and get the data frame, for example, and manipulate it, transform it, and do anything you want. Okay, we check. So that's it. It ran, and so we can now have access to our dashboard and our anything. So feel free to explore the different process you have. So you can add process from here. Let's see the one you have. Feel free to use the agent to code your own stuff, or use a dashboard or smart tasks. If you want to develop in Constellab, I recommend you our video about how to develop in Constellab to show how you can create agent, how you can create dashboard, and how you can create the Codelab, use the Codelab environment. Okay, so that's it about the configuration. And so if you want to have access to more processes like statistics or omics analysis, you can go to Constellab community and see all the agent or all the bricks that are available. So for example, the stat bricks gives you a lot of process about statistics like t-test or something like this. And in here you can see documentation, you can see how to use them. And once you understand a brick and you've seen what it does, you can install it in your lab. So to do this, I'm back in my lab. I can go back to my space and my lab configuration here. So I'm back in the lab detail configuration. And here I can add some bricks over there. So for example, I can add the Jena brick. I need to save the version here. And then I need to save. This is important to save the data. And once the configuration is added, you have to restart your lab so it's installed. It will take a few minutes, and your lab will be ready again, and then you will have access to all the processes of the Jena brick. This is also the place where you can update your bricks. So if there is a new, for example, JWS core, which is the core library of the lab, a new version available, you can update it here. Okay, let me check my notes. And yeah, if you go back to community, this is an important place because you will see all the available bricks, but you have also the documentation on the product, so on how to use Constellab and how to manage here, for example, your data lab, how to start it, stop it, and stuff like that. And you also have the technical documentation on how you can develop in Constellab, how you can create your own brick, your own agent, and things like this. Just so you know, you have access, as I say, in Constellab to anything you have access to the lab. So in here, in the dashboard, you can get the Codelab information from this pop-up. And here you can copy the token of the Codelab, open the URL of the Codelab. As a username, you write Codelab, those information are in the pop-up, and you paste the token, and this will give you access to, voilà, this is bugging. Okay, this is weird. So this gives you access to the Codelab environment where you can develop your own brick. Once again, if you want to know more about this, please check our how to develop in Constellab video. Okay, that's it. So now I've finished my analysis, I run my pipeline, and I want to stop my lab. So to do this, I can just come back to my lab dashboard and here click stop the lab and say yes, and it will stop the lab, and it will stop your running hours. So it will not be, your 25 hour will not be decounted from now. So keep in mind that this is your lab, you are responsible of it, so you are responsible of updating it, setting the brick, configuring it, and also to start and stop it. So to stop it, I've just show you how it's done, and to start it, it's pretty much the same. Once it's stopped, you will have the start button available, and you can start it, and it takes like a few 1 to 2 minutes max to be ready. Okay, so once again, go to community to see a lot of information about Constellab, and please feel free to join our Discord to have access to the community and ask us some questions. And yeah, that's it. Happy coding and have a good day. Bye.